time to build a hot rod. We are back in the garage and we have light. And that means it's the weekend. Because during the week, it's too dark out here to hang out with you guys after work. And yes, you'll also notice the Yard Art hot rod here is still buried in the corner. But all of that ends today. We are gonna dig out this Model A today so we can get started working on it. It's time to build a hot rod. But first, we got lights. 10 8-foot sticks. 72 watt, 9,000 lumens, 5,000K, daylight, V-shaped LED lights. 10 of them. That's gonna be a lot of light in here. That is gonna make me happy. Better videos for you guys, and much easier to see what we're doing on these projects. First thing this morning, we gotta figure out where we're gonna put these. Here's my thought. I think that 9 of these would be actually way more than enough. That would be 3 rows of 3 and leaving me 1 extra I could put over this workbench. I keep looking at these garage doors though, because one of those rows is gonna mostly be covered up by them. These doors are gonna be open 9.5 times out of 10. Maybe I should do 2 rows of 5 instead, or 5 rows of 2. Definitely overthinking this, guys. Like always. You all know that. Kind of laid these out. 1, 2, 3 in this bay. 1, 2, 3 in this one. 1, 2, 3 down the middle. That's 3 rows of 3, isn't it? The only thing different than my first idea was instead of putting one over the bench, I got it going this way between the garage doors. That would help when these doors are open. I kind of planned on hanging my bikes there though. I could always come up with something different for those. There's not a lot of room in here, but I'll find a place. Because I need to be more concerned about the light than where those bikes are going. So here's my thought. They're V-shaped, so they throw light this way and they throw light this way. So what if I surround the garage, a couple in the workbench area, going that way, 2 back here. That way we're only wasting 1 over each garage door. Then we'll have 4 going this way. Yeah, I think that'll work. That makes 10 bright ass lights in here. This one here is gonna overlap the air conditioner, air handler, that thing. But I'll be okay with that. If not, I'll replace it with a 4-footer, I guess. But why would I get rid of light? This is gonna be crazy. I'm gonna need sunglasses to work in here. So there's a few different ways to wire these up. We got your standard outlet plug guy here with its own on-off switch. They're linkable. They say you can link up to 5 together. So we got this cord here with this on both ends, so you could just link the lights together. This guy here is the same thing. If we did the 3 rows of 3, that'd be easy. We could just use those. Oh well, we don't always take the easy route around here, do we? Let's try to make this as hard on us as we possibly can. Actually, not even really kidding, because I don't want to link these together with wires that you can see. I'd love to pop the wires up into the ceiling. 10 LED lights, didn't see no wires. Then you heard zot from the electrical fire. May have missed my calling. I could have been a rapper. And finally, we got a hardwire plug. Plugs into the light, and you would hardwire that into a light switch. Now my end plan, what I want to do, I already got some switches, is separate those 5 and those 5. Let's figure out how to mount these things. We know where they're going, let's do it. Little clips. Oh. This is gonna be easy. These are just little clips, screw them to the ceiling, they'll snap right in. Now that I just jinxed ourselves, knock on wood, I'll start with the ones on the ends, because then we can split the inside area as evenly as we can. Evenly. English. Obviously, finding a a stud up there would be the best way to go. Since these things are so stinking light, these little tap-in drywall anchors will work just fine. Now what I do with Philip. Oh, here he is. This is Philip. Not to be confused with his flathead cousin. On this end, we're just going to use one of these to link them together. This end here, we're going to use this plug. Like I said before, ultimately, I'd like to have the two areas separated into two different switches over here and leaving the two original lights on the original switch. I'm going to dig through my electrical stuff and see what I have to wire these up for free because we blew our budget on the lights. We got a bunch of 12-2 here. More 12-2. Rubber body mounts. I know what we could use those for. Maybe. But we got them if we need them. We have 4 spots we could fill. 2 of them spots need to be reserved for the air conditioner though, someday. All right, I got a wire ran from that corner where we're gonna put an outlet box through the electrical panel with enough length to get down to the switches. We're gonna use this guy here. We're gonna go in the back side and then out the top. That'll bring us out into the ceiling where we can run it all the way to the other side. Then we'll be able to just use this plug to run the lights. Don't fall. Oh, my seat foam. 67 Mustang. Extra carpet. It's actually the color I'm gonna use. Sweet. Screen printing stuff. I have no idea how to use it. Oh yeah. Our electrical panel is way over there. Through all this. Stuck! Stuck! Let there be light. All right. I think we can work with that. Things we said we were gonna do, and we didn't. We didn't pop the wires through the ceiling. We did not put them on their own breaker. And we did not separate the two areas with 2 different switches. And here's why. The wires don't look bad. They're white. So that would be a lot of work climbing around in that attic. I just didn't want to do it. We didn't separate the areas because, well, since we're being honest, I forgot to run a second wire up there. We did not put the outlet box over here. Put a 4-gang right there in the middle by the garage door opener. I wish I would have done it by the garage door opener over here too. We did not put them on their own breaker because I don't have one yet, but we will. And that'll be just fine for now because these 2 original lights are 40 watts and we just installed these new lights that are 72 watts. And since amps equals watts divided by volts, so 40 watts divided by 120 volts equals 0.33 times 2, because there's 2 lights, 0.66. Then we have our new lights, 72 watts divided by 120 volt equals 0.6 times 10, 6. 6 plus 0.66 equals 6.66. Yeah. What that means for us is that all of these lights put together could draw 6.66 amps. And since they're on a 15 amp breaker, we'll be just fine. This is not a sponsored video by any means, guys, but I'm super happy with this. There's a link down below in the video description. If you need some bright ass lights in the garage and you buy them from that link a little bit ago to help the channel out. And that's important because I don't know how we're gonna fund that hot rod we're about to move yet. I gotta see this from outside. We don't have any streetlights in the neighborhood. Don't worry guys, we got the whole block covered. Time to make the donuts. It is bright and early on a Saturday morning, and we are skipping cartoons and cereal to move that Model A. As promised, we were gonna unbury this thing so we can start working on that, along with love, of course. Just gonna swing this back where it was. We just shoved that over there for now. This floor is super level, super straight, and that makes me happy because then we don't gotta mess around a whole lot with getting this thing in a good spot to build it. I think I'm just gonna spin it around 90 degrees, put it right here in the middle. Dang mud daubers. Y'all don't belong here. This is my house. This thing is rough, guys. Real rough. Most people would probably say it's better off leaving it as yard art. We're gonna make something out of it though. I bought this thing a long time ago from Bob Bleed after he left Austin Speed Shop, moved back to Wisconsin, and started Midwest Fabrication. He had this thing sitting out in the yard, and a few $100 later, it was in my yard. It's not gonna be some super nice hot rod. We're gonna do what we can to get this thing on the road with the very limited time we have and no money. That's real hot rodding to me. Taking what you have and doing what you want with it with your limited resources. Like I said before, I have no idea how we're gonna fund this. I've always had to sell them when I was done so I could do it again. This last time though, I sold the most favorite car I've ever had. And I didn't use the money to build another one. We used it to move 1,500 miles away. So we got nothing for this. We don't even have any parts. What you see here is what we have. What if I drew up a cool t-shirt design for this, for the yard art hot rod here, and took all the proceeds from that and put it into this project? I'll draw something up, see if you guys are interested. And when this thing is done, I don't know if I'm gonna sell it to put the money back into the channel, or maybe we could do a raffle giveaway thing. I don't know how that works, but I see people do it all the time. Maybe we'll have another t-shirt when it's done. You buy a t-shirt, you get an entry. I don't know. That's gonna be a long while from now. My plans for this are to kind of keep it traditional, but not at all. Untraditionally traditional. Untraditionally traditional. Untraditionally traditional. I don't want to build some super long frame. I don't want to do a suicide front end. I want to stay true to what this Model A was as far as wheelbase and all that. It will be laid out on the ground like this. So that's going to take some engineering. We'll do suicide doors. We'll chop the top. We'll see what else we can come up with. Whatever we do to it, we're doing it here in the garage with very limited resources, and we're having a dang good time doing it. And that is what it's all about. Thanks for coming by and hanging out. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you out there. Little too much Pups blue ribbon there, Daisy?
Ah!